How's it going, legends? Welcome back to another video. We have quite a bit to get through from Starfield. Again, melting minds in one case, actually making him completely and utterly lose his complete mind. We have IGN, Metro, PC Gamer still at it with the salt. IGN, I think, are now taking it way too personally with Dan Peterson. And I think, IGN need to reel him in a little bit. Just because he's the head of the review department doesn't mean he can go around telling people to F off, even if Tim actually said he'd prefer him to do that. There's professionalism in everything, and apparently IGN, when it comes to Xbox, just doesn't really care anymore about anything. And, two of the biggest pundits at IGN with Destin and Ryan McCraw has pretty much disappeared because they can't really say anything, and if they try to toe, any other line, their jobs will be on the line. But that and more in the video. So first up, I just wanted to apologize about my comments yesterday in regard to Volition. Now, I used the word, woke, and I said, go woke, go broke, and some people took that offensively, both in the sense that the word was used incorrectly, and apparently I was making light news on the fact that Volition lost, staff have lost their job. I actually proved that I'd released a tweet that was actually way before I made this video, actually condemning Embrace the Group for, closing down the studio and, making a lot of people jobless, especially this time of the year. And it was bad, but at the same time, a lot of what people were asking for with Saints Row, what made Saints Row, that's what people wanted in this new Saints Row. And though they tried to create this new, as they're calling it, hipster version of Saints Row, despite the community feeding back everything they wanted, the developer basically said that in this day and age, they cannot create what was the Saints Row before. It socially would not be accepted. Now, take that as you will, but I don't like bringing politics into video games, especially, when I'm talking to other people or other people talking to me. I'd like to keep politics as far away from games as possible. I know there will always be some in there, but at the end of the day, I'd like to keep it to a minimum. And, for those of you that did call me out, thank you. I appreciate it. I just want to say sorry, and I want to... I just hope that that's good enough. I'm not beneath knowing when I've done something wrong, and I am big enough to own up to that and apologize for it. Right. But before we get on to this story with the crybaby who literally lost his mind, I just wanted to say a massive thank you to everyone who has continued to show me support. I asked for 250 like challenge yesterday. You smashed it with nearly 500 likes. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this video. Do consider leaving a sub if you're new to the channel. Around 80% of you are unsubscribed, but you keep returning, which I am extremely grateful for the views and the comments in the comment section. So thank you so much for your continued support. We are aiming for that 5,000. Hopefully we'll get there soon. But yeah, 250 likes again is the challenge for this video. Let's see if you can smash it. Right, let's get on with this dude because his meltdown was quite special. Next up, we have this one over here with Heal V's Babyface. Now, I'm not going to play what he said here. I'm going to link it in the description below if you want to. But he absolutely lost his mind. Like, I'm talking ridiculous. I mean, okay, let me just play a little bit right before we get into it.
I just want to say something. A one hived mind twat waffle. That's all you fucking are.
Right? I mean, he literally has lost it. And why? Because at the start of the game gives you a choice to select a pronoun. Now, whether you like pronouns, you're for them or against them, it's really, when it comes to the context of the game, is irrelevant. It provides people more choice considering they're creating a character that is them. It provides people, the opportunity to create whatever they want, however they want. They can do what they want. Even then, it's pretty limited to he, him, she, her. they, them. It doesn't cover any other pronoun. So as far as people that are pro-pronoun are concerned, it doesn't even go to the lengths that it should do. But this guy absolutely lost it. First, it was complaining about the frame rate, then about the graphics, then about the animation. Now, they're complaining about the pronouns. I mean, can it actually get... I mean, what has Starfield actually done to people? Seriously, what has it actually done? It's made them go mentally insane. Like, the people I'm seeing online, I'm being genuinely serious. If this was any other situation, people would be calling the National Mental Health Hotline. It's really bad out there on social media right now in regards to Starfield. It ain't the most beautiful game to look at, and some of it is dated. No one can deny that. But the core of the game is awesome. I am going to have my impressions video out soon, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it, not enjoy it, dissect it, rip it apart, do what you like. But I've got my thoughts now on Starfield. There's a few more aspects that I need to experience before I can actually make that video, like the shipbuilding and stuff like that, which I was trying yesterday. But overall, like, as True Vanguard says here, all he had to do was select he, him. It ain't that deep, bro. It's there for people who aren't like you, and that's fine. I mean, at the end of the day, we live in a culture where social acceptance is pretty much everything, right? Why is it that only one side has to be accepted and not the other? At the end of the day, it doesn't impact the game in any way, shape, or form. If you select a male character like I did, he, him, you are referred to as a masculine male, as a he, throughout the whole game. So what difference does it make? It literally does nothing to your gaming, enjoyment. I can't imagine letting something that doesn't affect me have that much power over me. Yeesh. Gotta be a person of seriously weak character to get that rattled. At the end of the day, I kind of agree with True Vanguard. Whether you are pro-pronoun or not, and I know in the previous section I just said I don't want to bring politics to it, it doesn't even impact the game. Just sheesh, man. People are looking for absolutely anything and everything in this game to crap on. It's actually getting disturbing now. Well, of course, someone else had to come along and rattle the cage some more, and as Jez Corden says down here, defo gonna be good for clicks. And it's pretty insane that this dude has basically given this a 4.5 out of 10, a soulless game where you never really feel that you are part of a big world. And the cons over here, boring space combat. I mean, I don't think they've played any space combat. It's pretty much the same in every game I've played. Very abusive perk tree. I mean, that's an interesting one because we're going to get to that with IGN in a bit. Far too expensive. Like, what? Anyway, people are continuing the hate train on Starfield. It's a good game. Is it a 10 out of 10? Maybe not. But is it a good game? Is it still, in my eyes, as of right now, a Game of the Year contender? For me personally, yes, because I'm very much enjoying it. My friend DPJ, he's actually really enjoying Starfield at the moment, despite some of its flaws and, design choice decisions, which we'll get to again, like the loading screens. But he says, the average Starfield hater genuinely curious as to what I did wrong. It seems as though people are pissed off that Starfield didn't release in a shite state. Haters be crawling Reddit for bugs to report on. This dude over here, Lone Wanderer 921, it actually did. Lots of bugs people are reporting. Even Bethesda themselves said it has bugs. I mean, it has alien bugs, yeah. And it only got a 7 out of 10. How is that anywhere near a good game? I mean, 7 out of 10 should be a good game, right? 8 out of 10 is a very good game. 9 out of 10 is a great game. 10 out of 10 is a masterpiece. But in today's standards, 7 out of 10 is absolutely fucking trash, right? Another bug fest from Bethesda. So you found the lowest rated and brought that to the table. Don't forget that lowest rated also came from someone who hates Microsoft, Xbox, and Bethesda now. And as you can see here, the dude that doesn't like anything to do with Xbox and Microsoft gave it a 7. Those that are neutral gave it 9s and 10s. Of course, he then blocked him for calling him out. My dude's like pretty special, right? And this is the one that is actually leading on from that, because I thought this was really bad. And apparently this is actually true, by the way. IGN has a Spaces going on right now. This was previously. And it's really bad. Dan didn't even know you had to invest in a perk to do stealth, among a bunch of other things. So this guy reviewed the game, clearly didn't give it a chance, didn't even try to learn the mechanics of the game, didn't even learn how the skill tree worked, and then decided to review the game. He later on said that there were other people that wanted to review the game, but because he's the head of the department, he gave it to himself, because them's are the perks, he said on Twitter, and said, you know, I wanted to review it, so it's mine. He clearly wanted to shit on the game. There's no two ways about this. The guy clearly did. He seems very clueless about the game and doesn't even seem to realize there's a help section that goes over everything. The game even tells you that. I'm getting Cuphead tutorial vibes from this. I mean, the fact that he didn't know or understand the core mechanics, even though it was told to you, and then try to review it without even understanding how the skill tree works, I'll just leave that with you folks, because that's awful. That's awful. How can IGN even allow this? I mean, I'm never one for having people lose their jobs, but this guy needs to be demoted in some way, because this is awful. This is plagiarism, if that's the correct term I'm looking for. He clearly went into this with the hopes of not hopes, but with the motion to actually just give it a bad score. Considering 7 out of 10 today is regarded a bad score. And so the guy that tried to mid Starfield didn't even know what you needed to invest stats into stealth first. Has he even played a Bethesda game? Like, I mean, that pretty much says it all. But here he is again. This is crazy that someone that works at IGN be talking like this. I'm not saying bad about it. I've had my moments that I went loose. Lol. Also, he says, I don't run IGN Social. He's referring to TimDog. But if it makes you feel better, that's my opinion, and fuck off if you don't like it. I will show this to everybody here and make sure they know never to trust you again, because why would you even throw that out? Now, my problem here is that he is a professional. Tim is just an Twitter influencer, right? Or ex-influencer as they are now. But this dude has a job and he's representing a company. If I said what he said on social media with my personal account, I could potentially be fired if I was saying that to potential customers. You can't turn around to your customer and tell them to F off, no matter how much. There's been many a time where I've written emails, right? Where I've wanted to blow my fuse and I've had to edit it like 15 times before it's, work safe to send, because I'd lose my job. So how is this dude not accountable for it? And look at it. Like, they've got into a spat here. They're going out. Watch out, Tim. You wouldn't want him to release the beast on you. And this just random person says, we all trust Tim Dog, just not you. They didn't say anything like hurtful. They're just making a statement. Then F off if you don't like it. Like, I get Tim told him that I'd respect you more if you just said, this is my opinion and F off. But you just don't do that. You just don't. It's not professional. You just don't do it. How IGN is even allowing this guy to continue, it's just bad. That means I can go to IGN and just slag them off any way and shape I want, and I'd be okay in that company. Is that the image that they want to send out? Of course, Metro and PC Gamer are at it again. It's pathetic how bad they've gotten. Now, I've got this link, but first of all, I just want to show PC Gamer. The future apparently doesn't include Google Maps. They had no problem with any other game not including like a proper laid out map, but when it comes to Starfield, they have a massive problem with a procedurally generated area not having a specific map. I mean, they're looking for anything that they can to slag it off. But this is the byline that Metro wants to die on. Nintendo Switch is going to put Xbox out of the game's business. Like, what? Metro, you guys are pathetically so shite that you really should just shut your news. These people just need to just go away. But yeah, this is just atrociously bad from Metro. And the fact that this dribble continues, they wonder why they didn't get a review code? Really? This is the salt that they're going to release, and then they question why they didn't get a review code? Man, how sad and pathetic are these people? Right, for those of you that didn't know, because I didn't know this, apparently in your living quarters within the Constellation building, inside your Constellation room, you have unlimited storage. You can actually place as much stuff in there as humanly possible you want. It's unlimited storage. You do have to go back to it and pick it up, but it's there. I didn't know about this, so I thought I'd put it in the video because it could be quite interesting to some of you, or useful for that matter. Now this one I found really interesting, right? Because PlayStation fanboys created the No Man's Sky comparison to Starfield, right? Remember when the game was first shown and they were saying, oh, this is No Man's Sky, they're copying No Man's Sky and all of this. And they downplayed the game as a No Man's Sky knockoff. Well, now it's being changed. It's completely different to No Man's Sky. Now the game is released, they are complaining and creating fake outrage because the game doesn't play like No Man's Sky. So which is it? Is it that did they want it to actually be like No Man's Sky? And then they'll complain that it's, the game is similar to No Man's Sky, or the fact that it's different and it's no longer No Man's... I'm confused. Are you confused? Because I'm confused. Now this is the one I wanted to talk about here. Now, it looks like it doesn't need loading screens. Now there's a lot of loading screens in this game, right? We can all agree on that. And for some people that is immersion breaking, and that is fine. I can totally understand that as well. But this here proves that there is no need for the loading screens. Everything could have been seamless. Now, as you're seeing here, this is where you would take the train, and from that train, it would take it down to the lower level, right? But you can just go there manually, and there is absolutely nothing in the game that prevents you from doing it. There's no hiccup, there's no stutter, there's nothing. There's nothing preventing you, and as you'll see, this person is eventually going to get to an area where you will recognize that will lead to your ship. Normally you would need to take that train. The train would land somewhere around here in the area that you're coming to, and you would get off the train and you would, not this, like the one level below, and you'd go to your ship. But the fact is, it does seem like the whole game is running seamlessly. There's no issue. So why are there loading screens? This is one of the questions I put forward to Peter Hines, like one of the design choices that I didn't actually quite get, because it's clear that the game doesn't need it. It doesn't. So why are they there? I think, they should come out and explain that design choice, because it's clearly a design choice. It's nothing else. It's clearly a design choice as to why these loading screens are there when you can go into buildings and out of buildings. It's all a design choice. So what was the thought process behind it? Next up, I wanted to look at some cool stuff that people created, right? Let's put the volume down a little bit. This is a fully functioning Normandy from Mass Effect. Someone actually went and created the Normandy. That is pretty awesome, right? I think it's damn cool. And yeah, the things that people are creating at the moment, I mean, look at it, just double floors. I mean, I'm going to spend hours trying to create a proper ship, but it's just so amazing at what they are actually doing. And yeah, I'm impressed. I am fully impressed. This is awesome stuff. But I think the best one for me is the next one that I'm about to show you. Let's just see the Normandy take off.
Liftoff looks good. All systems nominal.
Yeah. The fact that they actually allowed you to create the ship of your dreams is pretty awesome. But this is the one that I found the best. Even the music gives me chills, and I'm gonna have to lower the volume on the music because there's copyright. So that is a thing, and I'm probably gonna have to talk over it a lot, but that is the Pelican from Halo. Actually, I'm just not gonna risk it, but that is the Pelican from Halo. It's awesome, and I absolutely think this is great. They've fully recreated the Pelican from Halo, and as you can see, it's just wondrous what you can create, and that's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. Bet you can't make a Pelican from Halo. I made a fully operational Halo Pelican in Starfield, and here is the takeoff. That's so cool, man. So cool. I can only dream to be that talented to create this. Someone needs to make guides on how to make some of this stuff. Right. Now we come over to another section in the video where we look at Baldur's Gate 3. Now obviously Xbox version is coming later, and thankfully that's not actually a bad thing. Because if we're looking at what you're seeing here on screen right now, let's expand it a little. I know the quality is a little bad. Can we make that better? No, we cannot. It is a compressed footage. But just look at those frame rates on the PlayStation 5. You get eventually to like a stable 60 when nothing is happening on screen. But the moment you've got any dust particles, flame particles, look at that 26 FPS it dropped down to there. And this is performance mode. So maybe delaying the Xbox version so they can, get all the beta bugs out of the way and get better performance. So the Xbox version will be running better. I mean, even on quality where it's supposed to be locked at 30, it's pretty awesome. Now I know this section here, even on PC, is quite demanding, but the previous section we saw is bad. I mean, it dropped to 25 frames there, as you saw. This is massive yikes, right? This is yikes on a massive level. There's no, GG, and look at it. You're looking at performance quality. I mean, what's the purpose of performance at this point? I mean, performance is running at a lower resolution as well. Well, it's good. I mean, if it can't hold a stable 30, I mean, why not just lock it? I mean, even performance is dropping below 30. We saw 28s there. This is bad. That's really, really bad. So, maybe having the game not come out at the same time and leaving it being beta tested on the PlayStation console really wasn't a bad idea. Well, that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. There's a lot to talk about there. IGN, Metro, and PC Gamer pretty much have now. I mean, PC Gamer and Metro were always trash to me. IGN was on, have been trash as well. But I mean, if they're gonna allow people to turn around and tell, consumers that are potential customers to your brand to F off if you don't like it, I'd actually might even apply for a job there and just put down as a requirement that I'd like to tell people like Dan Stapleton to F off on social media while I represent the company. I think that would be, and see if they'll actually accept my job application, because you do that in any other place, that dude would be fired, period. So, it's crazy that he's getting away with this. But that's it for this video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Legend.